the housing market heats up at this time of year, typically.
And it is right now.
And it is right now.
Yeah.
What do we need to know?
Well, you know what? Whenever anyone's putting their house on the market, I like to look at a house kind of telling a story. So when someone walks up, you want that house to be, telling a good story. So for me, the devil's in the details. If you want to have a great first impression, you need to pay attention to those details. It's like reading a book and having a typo in there. You're like, has this writer ever written a book before? It kind of throws you off, and it makes you wonder, like, what's behind the scenes.
So we're looking at a front door, a front entranceway.
Yeah. So first impressions, obviously, I mean, everyone talks about curb appeal and first impressions, and here we've got an older door. Actually, this door was not changed out, but they put a coat of paint on the front door, which it freshens it up. It gives it a pop of color, a little bit of personality. And people, when they're looking for houses, they're really stuck on criteria, like 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms. It needs to have a big family room or whatever the criteria may be. But once they roll up to the front door, it's an emotional response. So you want to elicit a certain, connection to the house. And that's what's going to make people buy the place.
We have some examples before and after. Let's take a look at the living room before. What are the keys for sellers of what you need to change and what you need to look at when buyers are walking in?
Well, first of all, tidy up, I think, is step one. In fact, I know people laugh about this, and it's a very simple tip, but it's to clean the house, like top to bottom, scrub it. And here's the after. So
that's
one of the
same living room?
That's the same living room, and there was no structural changes to this living room. So what they did was put some built-ins on either side of the fireplace, which gives you a place to put things. Get things off the floor. It also frames the fireplace beautifully, and you can barely recognize that.
You moved out the piano. You made it more.
Well, and I think the furniture is to scale.
Yes,
a lot of times people make the mistake of buying furniture that's too big for a space. So if you're in a condo, you need to make sure that the furniture is appropriate to the size of the room, which makes it feel bigger, and it makes people, a lot of times buyers can't articulate what it is they like about a space, but they walk in and they're just like, wow, this is fantastic, or they're turned off. Conversely, but they can't put their finger on it.
How big of a difference, just a follow-up on the living room, choice of floor, if you're going hardwood, if you're going laminate, do these things make a difference, or is it more the furniture and the arrangement of what they're looking at?
The first thing that people comment on when they walk into a house is the floor, for 2 reasons. One, it's everywhere, and 2, they feel it with their feet. A lot of times people forget that people are analyzing a space with all 5 senses. You walk into a room, although your eyes are taking in a lot of information, your nose is too. People forget about smell.
That's right. Don't let it smell like cat.
Yeah. By the way,
don't let it smell like cat.
This studio, I gotta tell you, you need a little. No, I'm just kidding.
It's stuff.
There is something going on here. No one is buying this studio today.
God, you're hilarious. I like the tip about scale, though, because that does make a huge difference. Have used staging before in selling a place back in Toronto. We had a very awkward, oddly shaped living room. We had the horrible furniture for it. Stagers came in and they made it look functional where it had been dysfunctional.
Yeah.
And it was a great, not an upside, but not the downside it was before. So now you're going to take us into the dining room.
The dining room, yeah. So one of the things is sometimes you want to make sure that you have the budget for any renovations that you're going to do or updates that you're going to do before you list your house. And one of the things that I think gives a huge impact but doesn't cost a lot of money is lighting. So you can go to a big box store or a lighting store and pick up something that's got some personality, that's a little bit more trendy perhaps, and install it in the house. It's not that hard to do, it's not that much money, and people, they're taking in the whole space and they see a lighting fixture like that and they think, wow, that's cool. And again, it plays back to the emotional connection to a space.
Right, that's not 1982 track lighting, that's a circa 2014 chandelier.
Yeah, I mean, brass is coming back.
Really?
But not the brass that you see from the 80s.
No.
So it's not like you can just recycle that. You want the new brass.
And quickly, if you have to make a choice with renovation, if you're looking to sell, if you're going kitchen or bathroom, what's going to give you the best ROI?
Well, kitchen and baths traditionally give you your best return on investment. However, the most expensive rooms in the house to do. So my advice always is if you have the budget, then for sure go in, because quality trumps everything. If you don't, leave it. Leave it for the next person to do. It's better to have things well maintained and out of date than it is to do something cheaply to try and upgrade it.
Good advice.
Good
So
tip right
Love It
there.
or List It Wednesdays, and you also have the new.
Yeah, so Love It or List It Vancouver Wednesday nights 10 p.m. New season just started.
Just started.
And Who Lives Here, which is a brand new show that's starting on W Network as well, Monday nights at 10 o'clock.
And when's the fashion show starting? Because this Hugh Hef blazer is on fire.
Listen, you and I.
I'm petting Todd.
I want a showdown. Yeah, this is cuddle factor.
I could.
Come on, snuggle up. Oh yeah.
The
gonna
fashion
have a little
challenge
sleep.
with Todd Talbot. Oh, it's a sleepover over here now.
Yeah.
All right, man. Thanks for coming in, Todd.
It really is quite squished.
Before it gets a
Isn't it
little
nice?
awkward, let's go over to Don.
It's all right. You can cuddle. Come on over.